Ladies and gentlemen, it seems as if over the last several months that wrestling fans have turned their back on Triple H, the man that was once the darling of professional wrestling, Booker of the Year. He could do no wrong, now seems to be public enemy number one. And all of that stems from his less than stellar booking in 2025, which I agree hasn't been particularly fantastic. But I want to use today's video to remind you that the Triple H era has been significantly more good than it's been bad. And we're going to reminisce through the Triple H era through this tournament to help us decide what is the greatest match that we have gotten during this Triple H era from 2022 to today. Of course, I'll put the link to the tournament down in the description of this video if you want to do it yourself. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. All right, that's enough. Let's jump into it. It's a long video, so go grab a snack, go grab a drink, and come hang out with me. All right, here's our first matchup. We have Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel 2024. Decent match, but not super memorable. And it's going up against a very good, very memorable match. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, their last man standing match at SummerSlam 2022. A lot of people kind of crown this as the very first Triple H era PLE main event, and it absolutely delivered. I think it's like the OG Bloodline rules. If you go back and watch this match, there's just so many crazy run-ins and shenanigans that happen in this. We even have a false cash-in. Brock Lesnar drives a tractor and flips the frickin' ring. It's an insane match. This is definitely moving on. Next, we have AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, the Survivor Series 2022 match, or the Men's War Games from 2023. Definitely going to go with Men's War Games. I know it shouldn't count, but it does count. This has the return of CM Punk immediately afterwards, which of course I'll never forget. The match itself is very good, and it also has the return of Randy Orton, so we're going to be going with Men's War Games in 2023. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky Backlash 2023, or the women's ladder match at Money in the Bank 2024. Both solid, both very, very good. But Bianca Belair versus Io Sky is where it's at, all right? This was like the first like true coming out party of Io Sky on the main roster. Those that watched her on NXT, they knew she can ball. They just haven't given her the opportunity to do any of said ballin' because she was just like a background member of Damage Control. This was the first time we got to see Io Sky truly cook on the main roster, and her and Bianca Belair had impeccable chemistry, aside from literally this one spot where Bianca accidentally drops Io Sky on her head, but she's okay. So we're going to go with Bianca and Io at Backlash. Then we have Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross, the Crown Jewel 2022 match. If I'm being honest with you, I don't remember this, like, at all. And then we have Bianca Belair versus Bayley at Crown Jewel 2022. Did I just like completely remove Crown Jewel 2022 from my brain? I genuinely do not remember this event at all. All right, I'll go with the women. I mean, they're driving a freaking golf cart. That just seems a lot more entertaining. So I'll go with Bianca and Bayley. Then we have Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania 39, or the fatal five-way match for the Women's World Championship at Crown Jewel 2023. Rhea, Nia, Raquel, Zoe, and Shayna. Really solid match, but compared to Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, it just doesn't stand a chance. This was a very good match, amongst the best matches at that WrestleMania, a WrestleMania that was full of fantastic matches. And this was like the real first match that made people kind of like turn an eye at Logan Paul, like, holy shit, this guy can really ball. Yeah, we're going to go with Seth and Logan at WrestleMania 39. Damage Control versus Alexa Bliss and Asuka, Crown Jewel 2022. Again, Crown Jewel 2022, just out of my brain. Or Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, Money in the Bank. This like trilogy of matches between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor was really, really solid. Like all of their matches were very good. We're going to go with Seth and Finn for sure. We then have Seth and Finn again at SummerSlam 2023, arguably better than the match we just talked about, or Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. I think this is a mistake. I think they meant Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. This is obviously like super memorable because of the cash-in, but as an actual bell-to-bell match, I'm telling you, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, they kind of cooked. It was just a little bit overbooked there at the end with all of the Money in the Bank shenanigans, but it's the better match. For sure it is. Then we have the Men's Rumble in 2023 or the Women's Rumble in 2025. The Women's Rumble in 2025 was not good. All right, that's the one where Nia Jax eliminated like 10 people in one fell swoop. That's the one that Charlotte Flair won. The Men's Rumble, on the other hand, was like a really solid one. This is the one where Cody Rhodes returned from his injury and won it. The final two was super, super exciting. Cody Rhodes and Gunther. We're definitely going to go with that Men's Rumble. We then have the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way. This match was great. The Crown Jewel 2024 match, or Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania 41. It's too bad that the tag team match is going up against this Fatal 4-Way, because the Fatal 4-Way match is better, but that Women's Tag Team Fatal 4-Way was genuinely like really, really good. But we're going to go with the Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way. We then have Logan Paul versus Ricochet SummerSlam 2023. A lot of people incorrectly, in my opinion, say this is the only good match of SummerSlam 2023. I disagree. I really liked Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, even though a lot of people did not like the result of that match. Or Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles at Backlash. I honestly spent too much time there talking about Logan and Ricochet because it was just going to lose to this anyway. Il est vraiment phenomenal. La 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 la. For sure, that is absolutely moving on. Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins Extreme Rules 2022. You guys remember that? Wasn't this like the Fight Pit match? And then immediately afterwards was the return of Bray Wyatt to the WWE. This was a solid match. Or Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio, WrestleMania 39. I'm sorry, I'm going to go with father versus son. I'm going to go with the Mania 39 classic. Maybe not a classic. I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, but I really like that match. We then have the Usos versus the Street Profits, the SummerSlam 2022 match, or Cody Rhodes versus John Cena 2025 at SummerSlam. Listen, it's a different world compared to the WrestleMania 41 debacle, but for sure, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena is objectively just such a fun, chaotic match. We're going to go with the SummerSlam match there. The women's ladder match, this is the Money in the Bank 2023 match, or Rusev versus Sheamus at Clash in Paris. Rusev versus Sheamus was very, very good, but this is one of the better women's ladder matches, so I'm going to go with Money in the Bank here. We then have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre Clash at the Castle, the first proper, like, fully booked beginning to end Triple H era PLE, or Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. We are in a new round. The last match was a new round. A bunch of matches got first round buys because we had like odd numbers. Anyways, you'll figure it out. It's super easy. It's just a tournament bracket, okay? Here I will go with Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. As much as I like Bianca versus Io, for sure Roman versus Drew.
Refusing to. Here we go. Oh, God, he barely made it. Dude, there's a fire in the ring, dude.
He's getting cooked. He's burning. Put him out.
Curly and Triple A. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
That was a sneak peek of this week's Horror Week Wrestling is Cool Match Club, available exclusively over on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, we're going to be looking at the hellacious Hell in a Cell match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. The 3 stages of Hell match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. The infamous WCW Chamber of Horrors match from 1991. The barbed wire Christmas tree match from TNA. And the Undertaker and Kane in their famous 1999 Inferno match. You're going to be getting all of this, plus the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, the currently ongoing John Cena World Championship Series, and all of the videos and series that we've already uploaded there over on patreon.com/SantiZap. So go check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. We obviously can't post this stuff here on YouTube because it would just get blocked due to copyright. So go check it out over there. I'm confident that if you try it even for just 1 month, that you are going to fall in love with the content and the community. If you're already a patron, thank you so much for your support. Now let's get you back to the video. Then we have Shinsuke versus Seth Rollins, Fastlane 2023. I think this would be their last man standing match, or Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. No, definitely gonna go with the last man standing match. The only like downside of this match is how ridiculous, like powerful Seth Rollins was. Like this man had a bad back, and Shinsuke Nakamura basically chopped his back in half and still kept getting up. But we're definitely gonna go with Shinsuke and Seth Rollins there. The men's War Games, the kind of like OG main roster War Games, or Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy at WrestleMania 40. Both very good, right? We had like the Bloodline. We had the famous moment of Sami Zayn like truly proving himself to the Bloodline by helping take out Kevin Owens. You know what? Yeah, I'll go with the men's War Games in 2022. We then have Seth versus Drew, the Crown Jewel 2023 match, or LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, WrestleMania 41. I'll go with Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre on that one. We have Kevin Owens and Sammy versus Roman and Solo. So we've talked about this one already, the Night of Champions match. Or Gunther versus Randy Orton, King and Queen of the Ring 2024. Listen, they're great for different reasons. This had all of the drama. This had all of the technical wrestling. I've always compared this particular match, Gunther versus Randy Orton, as like two supercomputers trying to out-hack each other, right? They're just countering everything with beautiful precision. Like as a match, like in ring, it's not even close. It's Gunther and Randy Orton. But like the entire package of what wrestling is all about, man, this tag match had such a roller coaster of emotions. We're going to go with the tag match. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control, the WrestleMania 39 match, kind of forgettable. Or Asuka versus Bianca Belair, Night of Champions 2023. Better than their WrestleMania 39 match, if you ask me. So we're going to go with Asuka versus Bianca. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I don't even need to look at the other one, but it's Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor at Mania 41. So we've already talked about that fatal four-way. Definitely Drew and CM Punk. It's come on, it's not even close. The women's chamber match back in 2023, or Bianca Belair versus Asuka at WrestleMania 39. I didn't love this match, the WrestleMania 39 match. I felt it was a little bit too slow. We're gonna go with the women's chamber. Gunther versus Sheamus, Clash of the Castle 2022, or Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan, King and Queen of the Ring. Decent match. It had the little swerve with Dominic Mysterio accidentally helping Liv Morgan win, but easily Gunther Sheamus. This is one of the best matches of all time. This is going to be like deep in the running. Absolutely. We then have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 39, a classic of women's wrestling, or Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria, also a classic of women's wrestling, if you ask me. I just think this one's better. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. The Money in the Bank match just has a better story because Rhea and Charlotte had no story going into this. They didn't even try to make any story. So we're going to go with Rhea versus Charlotte Flair. We then have Braun Strowman versus Omos at Crown Jewel. I don't remember this, dude. Clearly Crown Jewel 2022, I've removed from my brain. Or Io Sky versus Charlotte versus Asuka. Oh yeah, that Fastlane match was decent. We'll go with the Fastlane match. Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. Wow, that was the U.S. title match, right? Backlash 2023. It's going up against John Cena and Cody Rhodes, so it doesn't matter because this match is absolutely winning the SummerSlam match for sure. The six-pack TLC SummerSlam match, the awesome tag match involving all of the tag teams from SmackDown, or the Anything Goes Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria SummerSlam 2025 match, also a really solid match. Two SummerSlam 2025 matches. We're definitely going to be going with the six-pack. My goodness, that TLC match was unbelievably good, right? So good. The men's ladder match, if you remember, this is the one that the Wepa King, Damian Priest won, or Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes, Bash in Berlin. They end up having better matches, so I'll go with the men's ladder match. Then we have the Edge and Finn Balor Mania 39 match, kind of ruined because of the injury, because there was just too much blood. The cut was so big that the match was cut short, and the refs had to keep like pausing the match to try and staple Finn's head, so it really slowed down the match. Meanwhile, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, I got to witness this in person. It's such a freaking unbelievably good and violent match with so many insane spots. When we talk about match of the year in 2025, this is going to be in strong consideration. We're going with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Gunther versus Randy Orton, the Bash in Berlin match, so their rematch, or Becky Lynch versus Lyra at Backlash 2025. I think their King of the Ring match was better. Becky versus no, if we're talking about the Money in the Bank one, I'd give it to Becky and Lyra, but this I'll go Gunther Randy. Then we have the Lesnar and Roman Last Man Standing, or the Women's War Games match. Women's War Games was okay. It's really not very memorable. It's just Damage Control doing the job. We're gonna go with Lesnar and Roman Reigns. The Men's Rumble in 2023, or CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam 2024. I like this match. I like their whole trilogy. I still think it's one of the greatest feuds I've ever seen. And we got to see it in the last year, which is insane. So we'll go CM Punk and Drew. The Women's War Games in 2023, or LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes. Imagine if it was Carlito. LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade at Crown Jewel 2024. We're going to go with the triple threat. This is actually one of my favorite matches of all time because it's 8 minutes and it's just so damn good and fast paced. It's one of the matches that you should be showing people who are just getting into wrestling because it's a short commitment with a tremendous reward. We're going to go with LA Knight, Carmelo, and Andrade. We then have Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, their SummerSlam 2023 match, or LA Knight versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania 40. Neither one is like super inspiring. We'll go with Cody versus Brock at SummerSlam though. We have Ray and Dom versus Gunther versus Drew. Gunther versus Drew was okay at best. This was not the best showcase of Gunther Intercontinental Championship matches. We'll go with Ray and Dom. We then have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos WrestleMania 39, or the Judgment Day versus New Catch Republic at Elimination Chamber 2024. They literally just put this match together because they needed more matches. Honestly, I'm surprised I even remember this match. It's not even close, dude. This is one of the best matches I've ever seen. Like straight up, like one of the best matches I've ever seen. This tag match is absolutely insane. We're going to go with the tag match. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline Backlash 2024. If you remember, this is the one that out of nowhere just turned into a street fight, which was so good. This was kind of like the creation of the gentleman meme of Nick Aldis. Then we have Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky and Naomi. They included here at Evolution. Yeah, dude, this right here. This match is one of the greatest showcase of women's wrestling ever. Like seriously, like both in terms of the match and in terms of the shock there at the end. We're going to go with this match right here. A recent modern day classic. We have the heartbreaking Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, where a lot of people thought for sure Cody was going to finally finish the story, or the tag match, the night one main event with Roman and The Rock versus Cody and Seth. I'll go with Roman and Cody at WrestleMania 39. Although that tag match was really solid. Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, the Mania 39 match, or Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus at Payback 2023. This might be a controversial one, but that women's cage match is incredible. Like genuinely incredible. Shockingly good. I'm going to go with Becky and Trish Stratus. We have Shane McMahon and Snoop Dogg versus The Miz. Of course, famous because this was the implosion of Shane McMahon's legs, and his quads and thighs all exploded all in one fell swoop. Or the men's Money in the Bank ladder match in 2025. Yeah, this was a solid ladder match. We're going to go with Money in the Bank. We have the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium Extreme Rules 2022. Nice. That's a cool match. Or the Men's Elimination Chamber in 2023. This was for the U.S. title, if you remember. It had like the craziness of Logan Paul joining in there. Johnny Gargano was doing some crazy stuff. We all thought that this was going to be the breakout of Montez Ford. It's a very, very good match. So we're going to go with the Men's Elimination Chamber. Edge and Finn Extreme Rules 2022, or Damian Priest versus Gunther SummerSlam. This was such a good match. This does not get talked about enough as one of the elite Gunther matches. Easily one of the best World Heavyweight Championship matches of the modern era of the World Heavyweight Championship. We're going to go Damian and Gunther. Then we have the Men's War Games Survivor Series 2023, or LA Knight versus Logan Paul. I think this one's pretty easy, honestly. We're going to go with Men's War Games. We then have CN Punk versus Drew McIntyre, the Bash in Berlin, the Four Corners match, the strap match, or the Women's Chamber in 2025. I'll go with the Four Corner strap match. Yeah, I like that one. Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss versus Damage Control. Yeah, that like big just tag match that really didn't have much of a consequence. Or the insane Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens Royal Rumble 2025. Man, I know a lot of people think that WWE has had a down year in 2025, but it's going to be difficult to choose match of the year in 2025 because there are some heaters. We're going to go with Kevin and Cody Rhodes in that insane ladder match. We then have the Women's Rumble in 2024, an amazing Rumble with Bayley winning, or Lyra versus Nia Jax. That's the Queen of the Ring final. We'll comfortably go with the Women's Rumble there. We then have Bianca versus Charlotte versus Asuka, the SummerSlam 2023 match. What I always remember from this match is like the insane overselling to the point that it worked from Bianca Belair, where I thought that her knee just absolutely shattered and exploded. Solid match, famous of course for the cash in at the end with Io Sky and becoming champion. Or speaking of Io Sky versus Bayley, WrestleMania 40, one of the best women's matches that I've ever seen. It's Bayley versus Io Sky for sure. We then have the Usos and Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, Money in the Bank 2023. It's Bloodline Civil War, or the Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed triple threat match at King and Queen of the Ring. Yeah, we're definitely going to go with Bloodline Civil War. We then have Seth versus AJ to crown the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion, or Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul at King and Queen of the Ring 2024. You know what? I will go with Cody Logan. I obviously like Seth and AJ had a pretty solid match, but it wasn't that good. I thought it could have been better. Jade Cargill versus Naomi, WrestleMania 41, or Randy Orton versus John Cena, Backlash. This was so much fun. Absolutely John Cena versus Randy Orton. Oh, this was such a fun match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day. If you guys remember, this was labeled the Steel City Street Fight, where the Judgment Day seemingly shockingly out of nowhere won the tag titles, or CM Punk versus John Cena. Both are fantastic matches. I really like John Cena versus CM Punk more than probably the average person, but this tag match is genuinely incredible. We're going to go with the tag match. We then have Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser, Survivor Series 2024, or Becky Lynch versus Lyra versus Bayley, the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Both Intercontinental Championship triple threat matches, funny enough. We'll go with the women's, though. I feel pretty confident in that. Gunther versus The Miz, Survivor Series 2023, fun match. Or Gunther versus Sami Zayn, infinitely better match. Not even close. I know a lot of people hate the result of this match. They did not want to see Sami Zayn win, but 100% this is moving on. Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins, their Clash at the Castle 2022 match, or Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, Royal Rumble 2023. I didn't actually love their match, by the way. Like, the actual match, to me, this is all about the turn, right? Sami Zayn making the big decision to turn on Roman Reigns. I really don't think that the match is actually, like, very good. So because of that, because I'm just kind of including the match here, I'll go Riddle and Seth. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, or Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, the Night of Champions. So this final of the King of the Ring. Yeah, we're going to go with the WrestleMania 40 shenanigans. I'm sure we'll talk more about it later. Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. This was a triple threat for the U.S. title, I believe, at Survivor Series 2022. Or Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Easily, this is winning the WrestleMania 41 Night 1 main event classic. Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable, Clash at the Castle 2024. Very good match. Great technical wrestling. Or Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, Clash at the Castle. This was the one with the crazy ending with CM Punk screwing over Drew McIntyre. That was solid. But I'll go the bell to bell here. I'll go Sami Zayn and Chad. Then we have the 2024 Women's Elimination Chamber match, really solid match, or the Men's War. I didn't love this Men's War Games match. I'm immediately going to go with the Women's Chamber. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali, Night of Champions 2023. Such a good match. Electric, like short, didn't overstay its welcome type of match. Or the Men's Royal Rumble in 2025. Listen, the Men's Royal Rumble had its moments. I didn't love the ending. Jey Uso winning is significantly underwhelming. I'll go with Gunther and Mustafa. Bianca Belair and Bayley. Again, I have no recollection of this match, so I'm easily going to go with Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. This was their I Quit match. Nowhere near as good as their Backlash match, but still an incredible match nonetheless. Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. What a good match this was, man. Elimination Chamber, the emotion, the actual in-ring bell-to-bell stuff. The crowd was so electric. Or Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Easy Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn is winning that. The Men's Rumble in 2024, or CM Punk versus Gunther. I'll go Men's Rumble. I love the ending with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Then we have Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, the Night of Champions match, or Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Crown Jewel, Cody Rhodes, Gunther. Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul, Royal Rumble 2024. Remember, this was the one that Kevin Owens was about to win with the brass knuckles, but the ref saw it. Or Io Sky versus Bianca versus Rhea. Oh, the triple threat match at WrestleMania 41 all day. We then have the men's tag team showcase at WrestleMania 39. This is such an amazing match, like genuinely an amazing match. It's a shame it's going up against what I think is going to be a classic of the decade, Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles at Backlash. That's for sure winning. We then have the Women's Rumble in 2023, or Io Sky versus Bianca, the Crown Jewel match. I'll go with the Rumble match. Pretty confident in that. The Usos versus the Brawling Brutes. I do not remember this, like genuinely. Or Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. There it is. I was wondering where it was. Absolutely. Chambea. Hala. Cabrón, dame natala. I speak Spanish, but I don't speak Bad Bunny Spanish. So we're going to go with Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. The Judgment Day versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, the Fastlane match. This is where, we got the infamous yeet. This was what started yeet, for better or for worse. This is where it all started. Do you feel him, sir? Or Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, Night of Champions. This tag match was really fun. We'll go with the tag match. Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul, Crown Jewel 2022. What an awesome picture, right? Fantastic picture. Or the men's chamber match. I'll go with the men's chamber, man. Cena winning that with Seth Rollins screwing over CM Punk. Good stuff. I'll go with the men's chamber. We have Bianca Belair versus Bayley, Extreme Rules 2022, or Seth Rollins versus Omos. Not a terrible match, by the way. Seth Rollins versus Omos. Like, Seth Rollins gave Omos the best match of his career. But yeah, we're going to go with the Extreme Rules match. Bianca Belair and Becky, SummerSlam 2022, more famously known for the match where Damage Control debuted afterwards, if you remember. Or Logan Paul versus The Miz, SummerSlam 2022. Wow, 2 SummerSlam 2022 matches. You know what? I'll go Logan versus The Miz on this one. Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark, Survivor Series 2023, forgettable match. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you forgot it existed. Or the 6-pack ladder match at WrestleMania 40. This is for like the 2 separate tag titles, the ones that A-Town Down Under won, and the ones that who else won? Awesome Truth won the other ones. Yeah, definitely the ladder match for sure. We have DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns Royal Rumble 2025, or the WWE Women's Tag Team Title Fatal 4-Way. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with the Women's Tag Team Championship match there. We then followed up with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor Money in the Bank 2023, or Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. I'll go Seth and Finn. Underratedly good match. Seth and Finn again at SummerSlam 2023 this time, or the men's ladder match. Who won this one again? Oh, this is the one that Drew McIntyre won, and then he like burned it immediately. Yeah, now I'll go with Seth and Finn. Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, doesn't matter what it's going up against, it's winning. But it's going up against Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffy. Oh yeah, this was a solid match, but no, definitely Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew. Then we have Rey Mysterio and Edge versus the Judgment Day, famous for the turn of Dominic Mysterio to become Dirty Dom, or Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam 2024. Famous for the turn of Dirty Dom to even dirtier Dom. So, yeah, you know what? I'll go with the women's match. Yeah, I'll go with that. Men's War Games, the OG like main roster War Games, or the cage match, Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. We're in a new round, by the way, so now we're really whittling it down. We're going to go with the cage match between these two, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, or the 6-pack TLC match. I'll go with the triple threat. That 6-pack TLC match is fantastic, but the triple threat is just objectively a better match. Gunther versus Sheamus Clash of the Castle, or Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. Oh, man, what a shame. I wish these two were able to go further. I'm going to go with Gunther versus Sheamus. The Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Do you feel him, sir? Or Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles Clash at the Castle. I Quit match. I'll go with the tag match. We then have Rey and Dom versus the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Give me... This was a really solid Money in the Bank ladder match. It was. I'll go with the men's Money in the Bank. The women's Money in the Bank, or Becky, Bayley, Lyra. I'll go women's Money in the Bank for this year. That was a really good year. Bianca and Bayley, the Extreme Rules match, or men's Rumble in 2024. I'll go with the men's Rumble. Asuka versus Bianca at Night of Champions, or Shinsuke and Seth. I'll go Shinsuke Seth, that last man standing match. The Steel City Street Fight, or the women's Rumble in 2024. I'll go Steel City Street Fight. Logan and The Miz, or the 2024 Elimination Chamber. I'll go 2024 Women's Chamber. This was the year the women stole the show in all of the gimmick matches. Definitely going to go Women's Chamber. Roman and Cody, Mania 39, or Bloodline Civil War. I'll go Cody and Roman. Cody and Brock, or Io, Charlotte, and Asuka. Give me Cody Brock. Then we have Gunther, Mustafa, Seth, and Finn. I'll go Seth and Finn on this. Roman Reigns and Drew versus Io, Bianca, and Rhea. I'll go Roman and Drew. That match to me is really special. To me, it's like what revitalized WWE and like got it going on the crazy run that it went on. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, the Crown Jewel match, or Cody and Logan, King and Queen of the Ring last year. I'll go Cody Logan. Then we have Rhea and Liv, the SummerSlam match, or Randy and John. I'll go Randy John here. Kevin Owens and Sammy versus Roman and Solo, or Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles Backlash. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles Backlash pretty confidently. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the Elimination Chamber match, or the women's Fatal 4-Way at Evolution earlier this year. We'll go with this insane Elimination Chamber 2025 match. CM Punk versus Drew, the SummerSlam match, or Rhea Ripley versus Io, Evolution. Rhea Ripley, Io, easily. Last Man Standing at SummerSlam, Brock and Roman, or Men's War Games. I'll go Last Man Standing. We have the WrestleMania 39 Tag Team Main Event, or Gunther versus Damian Priest. Definitely the Tag Team Main Event. Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew, or Cody versus John. I really like Cody versus John. Like, I want to preface that Cody versus John for me is going to be one of the top matches of the year, but Gunther, Sheamus versus Drew is just the better match. It just is. Riddle and Seth at Clash of the Castle, or Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. Definitely the latter match. Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, or the six-pack ladder match. Definitely give me Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. The 2023 men's Money in the Bank, or Seth and Finn Money in the Bank. Both the same show. I'll go men's Money in the Bank here. Men's Elimination Chamber in 2023 for the U.S. title, or Gunther versus Randy Bash in Berlin. Give me Gunther versus Randy. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte, or Drew versus Punk, the Bash in Berlin match, the strap match. I'll go Rhea Charlotte for sure. Women's Rumble 2023, or Gunther Sammy. Gunther Sammy. The Women's Chamber in 2023, or Bailey Io. I'm pretty confident in this one. Bailey Io. Give me that one. We then have Cody Rhodes versus Roman, WrestleMania 40, or Gunther Cody, Crown Jewel, easily. Bloodline rules. You guys already know. Listen, this might not be the best match of the Triple H era, but it's definitely the most defining of the Triple H era, if that makes any sense. We're definitely going to go with that. Sami Zayn versus Chad, or the Men's Chamber. Give me the Men's Chamber. I really like the Men's Chamber this year. Punk and McIntyre and the Bad Blood Hell in a Cell match, or one of my favorite matches of this year, the triple threat between Knight, Hayes, and Andrade. We'll go Punk and McIntyre. We're now in the next round, so we're really, really cutting it down here. The video, I know it's been long to this point, but we're gonna reach the ending real quick, so strap in. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, or Randy versus Cena. I'll go Rhea Charlotte. Cody Rhodes and AJ, Backlash match, or the men's Money in the Bank in 2025. Give me Cody and AJ. Gunther versus Sheamus, Clash of the Castle, or Gunther versus Sammy. Damn, heavy hitters. I can't stress enough how disappointed I was in Gunther losing here, even though the match is fantastic. This match is fantastic with a great ending that satisfied everybody. There's no divide on the ending. We're going to go Gunther versus Sheamus. The men's 2023 Money in the Bank ladder match, or the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. This year, they both had great ladder matches. That's the thing. Like, genuinely, they both had fantastic ladder matches. We will go with the men's this year. That year, I'll go with the men's. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus the Steel City Street Fight. Give me Bad Bunny. Then we have Gunther and Randy, Bash in Berlin versus Rhea and Io at Evolution. Give me Rhea and Io. Yeah, absolutely. Roman and Drew versus Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40. Funny enough, I think these are the two most defining Triple H era matches, right? I feel like this was the main event that really signified the start of the Triple H era. And this was the main event that in many degrees ended the great Triple H era. I will go with the WrestleMania 40 main event. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, the Mania 39 main event, or the 2024 Elimination Chamber. We'll go with Cody Roman 39. Seth and Finn at SummerSlam 2023, or Seth, Punk, and Roman, Mania 41. Yeah, pretty confident in going with the triple threat. Cody Brock, or the Men's Rumble. Give me the Men's Rumble here in 2024. Judgment Day versus Jay and Cody versus Bailey versus Io. We'll go Bailey Io. Brock and Roman, Last Man Standing, or Cody versus Logan. We'll go Last Man Standing. The Punk and McIntyre, Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell going up against another heater, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, the ladder match. Both fantastic, genuinely unbelievably good matches. We're going to go with Punk and McIntyre, Hell in a Cell, though. The tag team main event of WrestleMania 39, or the cage match between Becky and Trish. I'll go with the tag match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber, unsanctioned, or the Men's Chamber. I'll go with the unsanctioned match. In the last match of this round, Gunther, Sheamus, Drew versus Shinsuke and Rollins. We'll go with the triple threat match for the IC title. We're in the round of 16, so moving through real quick. Bailey and Io versus Punk and McIntyre. Give me Punk and McIntyre. The men's ladder match in 2023, or Cody Roman. Give me Cody Roman. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, or Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. This was such a debate, right? A lot of people at the time were like, oh my God, especially when it was happening in the moment. We're saying, what a mistake to not have Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair main event. They stole the show. Best match of night one. And then everybody stopped saying that once they watched how insane that tag team match was between the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. All right. I'm going to go with the tag match. I am. Then we have Cody and AJ at Backlash, or Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky at Evolution. Oh, brother. Man, funny enough, these are very similar matches in the sense that like there really wasn't much of a build to them. They just sort of like happened and just shocked the universe with how good they were. It's kind of cheating that this is saying including Naomi, because then the cash-in just makes this insane, right? It's the cash-in that helps elevate this match from unbelievable to like legendary status, if you ask me. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles is just such a good technical match. And then the crowd takes it to a whole nother level. This is such a hard match. Honestly, toss a coin. I wouldn't be mad at what you picked. I will personally go Rhea and Io. I know that just got a lot of groans, a lot of boos, but I'm going to go Rhea and Io. Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew, or Roman versus Cody. I'll go the triple threat match. Give me Gunther, Sheamus, Drew. The unsanctioned match or the triple threat match to main event night one, I'm going to go unsanctioned. Give me the unsanctioned match. The last man standing at SummerSlam 2022, Brock and Roman or Gunther, Sheamus. I feel pretty confident in Gunther, Sheamus. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest, or the men's rumble, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. Gunther, we're now final 4 matchups here. All right, there's only 8 matches left, 4 matchups, and then we're into the semifinal and then the grand final. Gunther, Sheamus, Drew versus CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I'll go with the Hell in a Cell. Funny enough, I literally just watched the Hell in a Cell. You probably, if you watch this whole video, you saw the Patreon ad. This week's Patreon includes the Hell in a Cell match, in case, you wanted it. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the unsanctioned match, or Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. I'm going to go Rhea Ripley, Io. I am. I'm going to go Rhea Ripley, Io. Then we have the Insane Tag Team main event, or the Insane Night 2 main event of WrestleMania 40. It is a lot closer than people think it probably is. I think a lot of people think the WrestleMania 40 main event is this huge runaway. This is a tough matchup. I'm telling you, man, that Night 1 Tag Team main event is almost as emotional as the WrestleMania 40 main event. This was an incredibly good match. I would say that maybe in ring it might be better than Cody Roman, but then obviously like the culmination of everything taking place in this main event, The Rock, Cena, all the members of the Bloodline, freaking The Undertaker, of course the most important one being Solo Sikoa going out there. Of course, I'll go Cody Roman WrestleMania 40. Gunther, Sheamus, or Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. This is such a fun match. To me, this is another like iconic Triple H era match. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. But we're going to go Gunther, Sheamus here, and I feel pretty confident in that. We are in the final 4, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40, or CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. This is where people are going to be like, oh, Santi, you screwed up. I'm sorry. I think the WrestleMania 40 main event is amazing. It is. Like, it's one of those like once in a lifetime matches. I think CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre is more once in a lifetime in terms of just how good and how brutal it is. And it just told a better story. Obviously, this is the bigger story because it encompassed so much more. But as a micro tale being told between just 2 guys, the tale of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is iconic. One of the best feuds I've ever seen. Genuinely one of the best feuds that I've ever seen. Culminated in the perfect, brutal way. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And then Gunther versus Sheamus, Clash of the Castle, or Rhea Ripley and Io Sky Evolution. This is where Rhea Ripley and Io Sky lose. Gunther, Sheamus is just, it's magnifique. It's genuinely magnifique. And this is the final, ladies and gentlemen. Gunther, Sheamus, Clash of the Castle 2022, or CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood 2024. And ladies and gentlemen, you probably already knew where I was going to go. I was probably always going to go here. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, the best Triple H era match. That's it, guys. Long video, but how do you guys like these? You guys like the long-winded videos. That's it. Goodbye. Get out of here.